Today I'm going to talk about my favorite game mechanism in Inish. Inish is a game that I just played for the first time this past weekend. It is largely an area control combat-oriented game with a card drafting mechanism, and I had a lot of fun with it. Inish has one of my favorite things in a game in that the actions that you can take aren't in an action checklist. You probably know from watching this channel that I have a pet peeve against action checklists. Rather, all the actions are on these cards that you draft at the beginning of each round. And then once you have your hand of cards, players take turns taking actions, and the actions are the cards. The cards tell you exactly what the action is, which makes Inish actually fairly easy to learn because all the things that you need to know are on the cards. Even though I've heard that the first game can be kind of difficult for people because you're learning a lot of different actions because there are a lot of different cards. But I love that the actions are on the cards and you're trying to select which actions are important to you that round, and then you're playing those cards. Now, the real twist to Inish that I really love, I'm sure this is in some other drafting game somewhere, but I haven't seen it. The real twist to Inish is that the cards that you draft become part of your hand and can be passed to the next player. So when I start out with a hand of 4 cards, I pick one of those cards, and then I pass 3 cards. So I'm going to receive 3 cards from the player on my left or right. The rotation can change. It's variable. In fact, I kind of like the rotation mechanism. It's a token that you flip, and that determines the rotation of drafting for that round. So the player to my left, say, passes 3 cards to me, and instead of that one card that I already picked not being eligible, it being like already picked and out of the hand, it joins the hand of cards, and then I can pick any 2 cards from that hand to keep, and then I pass 2 cards. Then I get 2 cards, and again, the 2 cards that I already have join the hand of 4 cards, 4 total cards, and I pick 3 of them and pass only 1. So this makes a really interesting decision tree, because I'm not hurt by decisions that I made in the past that might change based on the new cards that I've gotten. So if I take a card that's somewhat situational and I don't get the other card that I need to make it really good, I can just put it back in my hand, pass it to the next player, and keep 2 other cards that are better that I received. Or maybe I receive a hand of 2 cards, and the 2 cards that I have, maybe I want to split them. Maybe one is good and one isn't. I just really like this mechanism of, it's just an element of flexibility, and it adds a new layer of choice where you aren't stuck with past decisions that you made earlier in the draft. You're flexible enough and nimble that you can change your strategy in the middle of the draft. It's really cool. If you've heard of another game that uses that drafting mechanism, that specific mechanism of cards rejoining your hand as you draft, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. And if you have another game where you love a little twist on the drafting mechanism, I'd love to hear about that in the comments as well. Thanks, that's my take on Inish.